We live in an era where we are constantly looking at the world through a glass screen. Every single day, we open up these little digital windows, and with a single flick of our thumbs, we invite the entire world inside. We see what people are eating, where they are traveling, who they are loving, and how they are succeeding. But there's a quiet side effect to this constant connection. It's a subtle, creeping feeling that starts in the back of your mind when you look at someone else's life. It whispers, "Look what they have. Why don't you have that?" Our theme today is the social media spiral, and our core truth is simple. Comparison steals joy. Authenticity restores it. Let's look at how this spiral unfolds, how it traps us, and how we can break free. Meet Michael. Michael is like any of us after a long, exhausting week. He's sitting on his couch, the living room is quiet, and he's looking for a bit of downtime. He pulls out his phone, opens Instagram, and starts to scroll. Within seconds, his feed is flooded. There's an old university classmate smiling on a sun-drenched deck of a luxury yacht in Greece. Scroll down. A former colleague is checking into a 5-star boutique hotel in Bali, a tropical drink perfectly positioned next to a pristine pool. Scroll again. Someone else is celebrating a massive career promotion at an expensive, candlelit restaurant. To Michael, it feels like an endless parade of luxury, celebration, and effortless success. Everyone seems to be moving forward, soaking in the sun, and living an elevated version of life. As Michael keeps scrolling, something shifts inside him. The initial curiosity fades, replaced by a heavy, hollow ache. The internal dialogue begins, and it's incredibly harsh. He looks around his modest living room, looks at his unfinished chores, and thinks to himself, "I must live like them, or I'm failing." This is the moment the trap springs shut. Michael has taken someone else's peak experience, their absolute best day, curated, filtered, and polished for public viewing, and used it as a baseline metric for his own everyday, ordinary life. He starts believing that luxury vacations and high-end lifestyles aren't just nice things to have. They are the absolute minimum standard for a successful existence. If he isn't matching that exact lifestyle, his brain tells him he is somehow falling short as an adult. The weight of that thought changes his entire energy. Michael feels utterly inadequate. The joy he felt just an hour ago about finishing his work week vanishes. Frustrated and drained, he snaps his laptop shut and tosses his phone onto the cushion next to him. The digital world has completely ruined his real-world momentum. Before he started scrolling, he had actually planned to spend his evening looking up a nice hiking trail or checking out a local weekend market for himself. He wanted to plan his own weekend. But now, what's the point? A local trail feels incredibly small and insignificant compared to the Mediterranean Sea. A neighborhood market feels boring next to a Balinese resort. Because his potential weekend doesn't look like an Instagram story, he completely avoids planning it. He sits in the quiet, paralyzed by a false sense of lack, letting his own precious free time slip away. But then, the fog begins to clear. Michael takes a deep breath, steps back, and a crucial realization hits him. He remembers a basic truth that we all know intellectually, but so easily forget emotionally. Social media shows highlights, not reality. He starts to pull back the curtain. He realizes that the classmate in Greece might have spent months stressing over credit card debt to afford that single trip. The colleague in Bali might be dealing with intense loneliness or burning out from a toxic job, using the resort as a desperate escape. He remembers that nobody posts photos of their messy kitchens, their arguments, their quiet insecurities, or the hundreds of boring, mundane hours that make up a normal week. Michael realizes he wasn't looking at real lives. He was looking at a digital art gallery where people only display their masterpieces. This brings us to a powerful moment of truth, a mirror we all need to look into when we find ourselves slipping down the same path. Their posts don't define your worth. Someone else's beautiful vacation photo is not a report card on your life. A peer's luxury lifestyle is not a sign that you are failing. Your value as a human being, your success, and your peace of mind cannot be measured by a digital tally of likes, filters, or follower counts. When we look into the mirror of reality, we have to recognize that our worth is built on our own character, our own resilience, and our own unique journey, not the highlight reels of strangers or acquaintances. So, how does Michael fix this? How do any of us break the spiral? It requires a deliberate shift in perspective. It's about the power of reframing our thoughts. Michael changes his inner script to a new, empowering mantra. My joy comes from meaningful experiences, not comparisons. Instead of letting comparison dictate what a good life looks like, he reclaims his own definition of happiness. He stops asking, does my weekend look as glamorous as theirs? And starts asking, what actually makes me feel fulfilled and rested? He reopens his laptop, not to look at Instagram, but to find that local hiking trail he wanted to explore. He realizes that a quiet walk in nature, a good book, or a home-cooked meal with a close friend holds a deep, authentic joy that no digital filter can ever replicate. Michael's story isn't unique. It's a collective experience we all share. To close our session today, I want us to step away from Michael's screen and look closely at our own. Let's take a moment to honestly process our own beliefs, our feelings, and our daily actions by reflecting on 3 core questions. First, when scrolling social media, do you notice yourself feeling inspired or inadequate? Pay attention to your body and mind the next time you are on your phone. Does seeing others succeed give you a spark of genuine motivation? Or does it leave a heavy, lingering feeling of lack in your chest? Recognizing that emotional baseline is the very first step to breaking the spell. Second, how does comparison shape your mood and your choices? Does looking at someone else's life cause you to pull back from your own? Do you find yourself avoiding simple, beautiful, real-world moments, like Michael avoiding his weekend planning, just because they don't feel post-worthy? Third, what would shift in your life if you focused entirely on your own joy instead of others' highlights? Imagine the mental freedom, the time saved, and the deep peace that comes when you stop trying to keep up with an illusion. Remember, comparison steals joy, but the moment you step into your own reality, look at your own path, and value your own small, beautiful moments, authenticity completely restores it. Thank you.